Okay, this might be the greatest AI movie that's ever been done. And I want you guys to stick until the end. There's a $15,000 cash prize that you may be able to win. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Now, looking at this workflow, you can obviously see that he's, using a very distinct style, and he's the only one that has this kind of style. And right now, how he generates these images, he uses Midjourney to get this, texture and like this aesthetic that he has. I kind of like, the way that he uses this, because like I use different image generators. I don't particularly use Midjourney as much anymore, but if I'm concepting like a character, that is my go-to. But I love the design so far.
Your blog's become a glorified asylum. Well, I had to step over no fewer than 3, I hesitate to call them people, one of whom was trying to gnaw off his own ear. And that alleyway of yours, well, 2 gentlemen, the size of cargo rigs, were engaging in, well, I'm not one to impugn anyone's, recreational preferences. It wasn't particularly discreet. For a man whose livelihood depends on a certain caliber of clientele, you run a remarkably unsanitary operation.
Hello to you too.
Yes. Hello.
So, how's things?
How am I? Well, 6 hours. 6 hours with Nirakor's finest synaptists yapping about wetware installs. Not an original thought between the lot of them. Absolutely nauseating. I'm going to collapse from boredom. I'm telling you now, the tedium is going to finish me off long before the bit rot does.
Well, can't have that.
Oh, certainly not. It'd be a damn scandal if I expired here. Your shop would be swarming with Nirakor's forensics by sunrise. I can't imagine they'd look too charitably upon your, inventory.
You'd be surprised.
Right. Yes. What have you got for me?
The Chrome kids are raving about this new spool from...
Sounds wonderful. Thread me in.
What? You don't want to hear my pitch?
I'm not some smarmy little mesh dodger who needs a brochure. Just give me the damn spool. Please.
Right, of course.
Say what you will about this place. It's the only appointment I keep where I don't have to pretend.
Now, I also love the accents, and you can kind of see, his workflow is immaculate. I love the way he combines dialogue and, the way it's seamless from, camera to camera. It's very well done. Obviously, he's going for a steampunk type look, mixed with some cyberpunk, feel. So far, I do like the aesthetics.
You know what old Merrick called it? To say it was all in him out the water. Half his legs missing.
What?
Incorrigible. The Leviathan. Incorrigible, he called it.
Articulate bastard!
Aye, laugh it up. But that beast's been gorging on every squirming worm the seas had to offer since the dawn of time. Father's sack, and it still hasn't had its fill. Do you know what drives a thing like that?
What, Captain?
I wish I knew. But today, we slay that beast.
Stab it! Stab it!
Now, when you see that Leviathan coming out of the water, that thing is absolutely massive, right? It's kind of like a mixture of, a whale or something else. Now, imagine seeing that thing at sea. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things I don't like about the sea, because there's so many things that we don't know that are underneath there. But yeah, that'll be a scary situation, man. But anyway, let's continue.
Rhododendron?
Oh, come on. I was in the vicinity.
Of what?
Well, they share a phonetic. There's a floral quality to it.
One's a shrub, sir. You want an easier safe word?
No. I'm perfectly capable of remembering pomegranate.
So, you bailed early there.
I didn't bail. It's just, how many fish can a man incarnate as before the novelty of
Leviathan.
Leviathans, krakens, serpents? It's hardly a question of size. It's how many heroes can you thrash about in your jaws before they all taste the same?
You know, I'll never stop to count.
Just run me another. Something a bit more...
A bit more...
Oh, you're the professional here. Just run something better.
All right. See you on the other side.
Now, this shot, like, coming from the mouth is, like, absolutely wild, right? Like, the way he thinks about these things is, like, super interesting. But yeah, man, this is one of the most weird scenes that you're going to see in this movie. Yeah, so I'm just giving you a warning, you know what I'm saying? Be on the lookout. Check out the scene.
You ready?
Wait for the fucking signal!
Beloved acolytes of the eternal flame. Wretched and unworthy children of the God King's grace. Our Lord has tasted every pleasure this world dare offer, yet hunger still. And so, we have summoned the most exquisite delights from the furthest riches of the kingdom. Let us pray his divine loins may yet find cause to stir. Unleash them!
Pomegranate!
That bad, eh?
I'm not sure how to put it.
Oh, yeah. The visual's a bit shrill, I'll give you that. If you sit tight, I can recalibrate the voice. Minstrels could
No.
use some...
Look, his voice was perfectly... It's not the voice, okay? The spool was fine. Tuned to my predilections, even. Remarkably, exotic. The parts were there. The music, the wine. But the sum of it, nothing. Just static. Let's have another go. Something else.
Anything you in the mood for?
You're the expert here. Enchant me.
All right. Let's try another angle.
The last thing kind of reminded me of Michael Jackson's Remember the Time, but this particular scene right here is absolutely wild. Like, it is insane. Imagine being a ping pong ball in this machine. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, let's continue.
Want to talk about it?
I thrust a bayonet into a man's aorta once. During the Cradle Wars. I could feel his heartbeat through the handle. Remarkable sensation, really, the intimacy of it. Then I played the other side. I felt the blade come through my own ribs. I felt my lungs fill with something cold and foreign. And then, just black. I fear it hardly made a dent. First thing I did upon waking was drop into a cat sim. I've loved women in these spools. Spent whole lives with them. Cherished them. Sired children. Built homes. Cottages. Farmsteads. All the quaint simulacras of the good life. You know how these sims are. And there must have been real love in there, surely. But how many hands have I clutched on their deathbeds? How many eyes have I gazed into, swearing my devotion? My wife, one wife, she had the kindest green eyes. Or were they blue? I can't recall her name. Any of them, really. I watched East Cinder burn to the ground. Saw the last grove felled in no river. Complete desolation. Have incarnated as warriors, peasants, romantics, damn near every odd creature you could hope to conjure. I've lived them all. Across every eon. Hundreds of thousands of years of it. But the massacres. The extinctions. The sublime. None of it registers. My nerves are gone. Overwritten. It's not that I'm... The synaptists insist the bandwidth is there. Virtually limitless, they tell me. With the right augments, the human mind can absorb centuries of experience without degradation. But I think I'm very much qualified to say by now that there's a finite amount of wonder a soul can carry. A finite capacity for awe, wonder. And I have most certainly spent it. I've lived through more than any soul was meant to carry. And it has left me empty. Bloated and empty. Which is Which is a rather cruel arithmetic, isn't it?
I've got something. Not on the menu. I don't sell this one.
You always have something.
No, not like this. And I don't know if it'll work, but I think it's worth a shot. On the house.
What is it?
Ain't a brochure for this one.
All right.
Can you imagine if this was, like what would happen in the future, like in the age of abundance, where we are so bored with life that we have to plug ourselves into machines just to feel some kind of emotion? Who knows? Maybe this may be the future. Let's continue. Now, I ain't gonna lie, man, but like living as a fly would absolutely suck. Imagine like only being alive for 24 hours a day, and the smell of things that are like repulsive to people like are actually enticing to you. That is absolutely gross. Anyway, let's continue.
What was that?
A fly. A whole life. 24 hours, give or take.
A fly? Have you got any? Here, in the shop.
Got any what?
Flies. Actual flies.
It's a grimy workshop, mate. There's all sorts buzzing about.
Good. Go and fetch me a transfer rig.
Are you sure? Substrate migrations are a lot more permanent than...
I know.
Pomegranate won't work this time.
The rig. Please.
Okay, so that is the, episode from, Gossip Goblin. So he's coming out with the, film that's going to be in the theaters, right? So you'll be able to see that movie. So maybe if you guys want to support him, obviously it's Gossip Goblin. You can check out his channel. I'll have the link in the description as I always do. And, you can always go check out his AI film. You can kind of like see like what he is doing with this, cinematic universe that he's built, right? I think the most impressive thing about him is like the dialogue scene. So like he does a different like workflow. Obviously I told you that he uses Midjourney like to, generate the images and the characters and everything else. But he's actually using a hybrid workflow, which is, I guess he's using like live actors to actually say this dialogue, right? And then translating it into AI. So as you can see, like, in this particular instance, he's using, the dialogue to drive the narrative. So obviously he's like splicing it up to make sure that it lives well. At this time he used, Seedance, like the Seedance 2, right? Not the new version, but like the previous time he had used Clang, so he decided to use Seedance this time, maybe because of the camera angles. But the way that he says he works it is like he puts the first frame every time so that he can kind of control the narrative, right? Obviously he gives prompts into how the camera moves. But I do love how the dialogue goes, because like there's no, weird words. Like sometimes when I generate my stuff, it's kind of like weird, it'll say something that doesn't exist, right? And some people have called out and thought like, okay, I kind of prompted it different. It's not that I write the correct word and then it just says whatever it wants. For example, like when it's saying Palladian, it would say Plorian, say something like that. So like there are some things that, Seedance is not able to do. So like if you have this hybrid workflow of actors, live actors actually delivering that dialogue, and then you just kind of like drive, the narrative with AI, I think this is the best way that you can do it. You keep people employed, right? Nobody complains and say, oh, you're taking other people's job. It's a new workflow of working. It's kind of like, when you're working with CGI in specific aspects. Some people hate that. They go like, oh, it's CGI all the time. But what you don't understand that it takes a lot of time, and it takes even more money for you to go and do practical effects, like traveling with your entire crew to another location just to make a shot. So you could do that in the 70s, maybe in the 80s and whatnot. But as, movies became what they became, the unions started coming in and everything else, things became more expensive. You can see what's happening with California right now. Like a lot of people are like leaving because of how expensive it is. That's why people go shoot outside like London and whatnot. But yeah, man, I do like, the direction that he actually did with this film. I think is, one of the best, if not the best, AI filmmakers out there, right? And something that, as AI filmmakers, you gotta take appropriate on and say, okay, this is the direction that I want to go. And this is the same thing that I want to do with my universe, right? I want to, bring live actors, but first I have to prove that it actually works. You have to build the fan base for the stuff, right? So make sure that it actually exists. So the more people watch your content, they can go and talk to some of the investors and studios and say, okay, this is my IP. This is what I want to do. I've built it over this length of time, and you have proof of work, a proof of concept. Now, when it comes to the $15,000 that I was talking about, it's actually coming from the studio called Fable. This is the studio that's actually going to be releasing Gossip Goblin's movie in the theaters, like in October and whatnot. So they're running, thematic fan film competition that should be placed in the London area. So I'll put the, link in the description so you guys can kind of join that. And it's something that you can possibly do and, win yourself some money. So if you look at it this way, like when I'm building my shots, typically they cost me around $200 to $300 per, movie or per shot that I make. And my stuff is like 15 minutes. So obviously this one is like almost like 30 minutes, right? So you're looking like maybe like $600, give or take $700. So if you can kind of like win this competition, you take $600, $700, get into the competition and create your short, maybe win, right? You could possibly, make even more, right? So look at it this way, you got $15,000. It costs you maybe $300 to make. So you could make like maybe 3 short form films, like 15-minute films, like the way that I do it, right? And you can actually, build your own cinematic universe and possibly make some money. There's different ways that you can make money with this AI stuff. So that's the competition that's available to you if you decide you want to get into it. But yeah, man, you guys let me know what you think about this film. I thought it was absolutely fantastic, the way he designed the shots. Like I said, the seamless camera transitions, the creatures are way in there. It's a little weird, but, pretty entertaining. But yeah, man, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.